Hello dosto, myself Mutani, and in this video we are going to study internal audit. But before starting, I want to inform you that I have already covered internal check and I will share that video link in the description so you can watch that also. So let's starting with internal audit. First of all, we will see the meaning of internal audit. Internal audit is a review of operations and records undertaken within business by specially assigned staff on continuous basis. So, internal audit is basically a review of operations. Focus on the word review. That means you are viewing something again. So, internal audit is a review of operations and records undertaken within business. That means the operations and records which are done in a business has been reviewed by the internal auditor, or we can say by specially assigned staff on continuous basis. Okay, in other words, we can say that internal audit is an independent appraisal of activities within an organization or entity for review of accounting system, financial and other business activities. What is appraisal? Appraisal is basically classify the things according to value. Let me give you an example that there is a class where there are some middle average students or topper students, and we classify them according to their value. Okay, so it is an independent appraisal. We classify the things according to their value in internal audit. So we will say that internal audit is an independent appraisal of activities within an organization for review of accounting system. You can see that there is word review. So mind that review is most important in internal audit as we are reviewing the operations and records. Okay, so it is independent appraisal of activities within an organization for review of accounting system, financial and other business activities. I hope the meaning of internal audit is clear to you. Okay, now let's coming to the objectives of internal audit. The objective of the internal audit is to furnish the analysis, appraisals, suggestions, and information concerning the activities reviewed to the management for promoting effective control at reasonable cost. Why do we do internal audit? Basically, to review the data that has been given by the management to the auditor. Okay, and to furnish the analysis, appraisals, and suggestions on that data. Okay, concerning the activities reviewed to the management for promoting effective control. Internal audit helps in promoting effective control at reasonable cost. Okay, now let's see that who is eligible to act as an internal auditor. As per section 138 of the Companies Act 2013, the following persons can be appointed as internal auditor, which may be either an individual or a partnership firm or a body corporate. Who can be an internal auditor? The following persons can be appointed as internal auditor. There are some persons which can be appointed as internal auditor, which may be either an individual. He can be an individual. He can be a partner. It can be a partnership firm, or it can be a body corporate. Like CA, who is engaged in practice or not, can be an internal auditor. Cost accountant, who is engaged in practice or not, can be an internal auditor, and such other professionals as may be appointed or decided by the board. Okay, so there are three persons. Actually, there are two persons, and the third one is appointed by the board. So you can learn that who are eligible to act as an internal auditor. Let's moving on to the next topic. One more thing. Internal auditor may or may not be an employee of the company. The Companies Act 2013 says that internal auditor may or may not be an employee of the company. So you can appoint any internal auditor outside the company also. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic. According to the Institute of Internal Auditors, internal audit involves 5 areas of operations, which are the reliability and integrity of financial and operating information that is reliable, on the financial and operating data which is given by the management to the auditor. Next is compliance with laws, policies, plans, procedures, and regulations. That what the accounting policies have been adopted by the management in the company is according to law. This point describes that. Okay, let's moving on to the next is safeguarding of assets. That assets are not used for other use except for business purposes. Okay. Next is economic and efficient use of resources. That resources are properly utilized in the business. And the last is accomplishing of established objectives and goals for operations. That the objectives and goals are achieved. Okay, so these are 5 areas of operations of internal auditor. Sorry, internal audit. Now let's see the features of internal audit. Features of internal audit are, as I said, independent appraisal activity. You can classify the activities according to their value, and it is independent. Okay, anyone can do it. Conducted by assigned staff or appointed independent professional. Who conducts internal audit? Internal audit is conducted by assigned staff or any appointed independent professional. And why internal audit is conducted? It is conducted for review of accounting and other financial operations. Okay, learn this word review, as internal audit only reviews the accounting and other financial operations and records. Okay, internal audit is a service, not a part of the organization. Okay, internal audit is only a service but not a part of the organization. It is a continuous effort for promoting effective control at reasonable cost as described earlier. Now let's moving on to the functions of internal audit. Again, it is an appraisal function. It appraises the activity of others, not to perform a specific part of data processing. Let me explain this line you with an example. Suppose there is a person who checks employee expense claims. But he cannot perform internal audit function. But the employee who review the system of checking employee expense claim can perform an internal audit function. The basic difference is that the person checking employee expense claims is viewing the data, but employee who is reviewing the system of checking employee expense claim, as he is reviewing the data, he can perform an internal audit function, as internal audit function is directly related to review of accounting and financial operations. Okay, so this is an appraisal function. I hope this is clear to you. Let's moving on to the next function. As a service to the organization, the management requires that the auditor ensures the following. Management requires that the auditor ensures the following: that policies are fulfilled. Okay, organizations assets are safeguarded, that they are not misused. Next is internal control system is well designed. If internal control system is well designed, then there are less chances of the fraud or any omission in the records. Internal control system works in practice. And last is reliable and complete information. Internal audit gives reliable and complete information. Let's check the other duties function of internal audit. Being concerned with implementation of social responsibility policies adopted by top management. That whatever social responsibilities policies adopted by top management has been concerned with internal audit. Next is being concerned with response of internal control system to errors and required changes to prevent them. Internal audit is concerned with the response of internal control system. Internal control systems helps in detecting errors and frauds, and changes can be taken to prevent them. Next is acting as a training officer in internal control matters. Internal auditor can act as a training officer in internal control matters. And the last other duty is auditing the information given to the management. The information given to the management can be audited. Okay, now it is a scope of internal audit. It is more like similar to features of internal audit. You can do it yourself. Now, next is need of internal audit. Increased size, complexity of business. Increased size and complexity of business. Enhanced compliance requirements focus on internal controls to manage them and increasingly competitive environment. I hope you understand this. There's no need to explain. Now let's moving to next advantages of internal audit. First is proper accounting system. What is accounting system? Accounting system is a chain of activities in an entity by which transactions are processed for financial records. It is basically a chain of activities in a business or organization through which transactions are processed for making financial records. Okay, so proper accounting system is introduced through internal audit, as there will be the uh, actual data after the internal audit, and the errors and frauds will be disclosed. Okay, next is better management. Internal auditor can point out the weak areas of the management. Goals can be achieved if there is internal control, internal check, and internal audit. Internal auditor can point out the weak areas of the management. Okay, and goals can be achieved if there is proper control, internal check, and internal audit. Management could rely on internal audit for best results. Management can depend on internal audit for best results. So better management is one of the advantages of internal audit. Let's moving on to the next is progress review. The figures of previous year are compared with this year for reviewing progress. Like we can take an example of a company who has turnover of around 1 lakh. Let's take a small example uh, of 1 lakh, and in this year it has a turnover of 2 lakh. So there is a difference of 1 lakh in a year. So it's showing that company has done a progress of 1 lakh rupees. So this can be known through internal audit. So the performance results of similar companies can be compared. Okay, or we can compare the similar companies turnover so as to review the progress of the company. Now let's moving to the next point is effective control. It is a very important point, effective control. Control is a function of management that relates to supervision and direction of ongoing activities. Basically, control is a function of management which helps in supervising and directing the ongoing activities in an enterprise. Okay, so internal audit alerts the management for effective control. Internal audit helps the management for effective control, as we read earlier, at reasonable cost. So it is more like same. Next is no errors. Internal audit helps in protecting the accounting records from the errors, as we discussed. There is no gap between accounting work and auditing work, so accounting staff is not in a position to commit or find errors. Actually, there is a very little gap, or there is actually no gap between the accountant work and the auditor work. So, accounting staff is not in a position. Accounting staff can't find errors in such a short span of time. So, there is auditor who do internal auditing in order to find errors. Now, the last advantage of internal audit is fixing responsibility. Internal audit is used to fix responsibility of the people having poor performance. The people having poor performance, their responsibility got fixed through internal audit, and internal auditor can evaluate the employee's performance. Okay, and one could be responsible if they do not fulfill their responsibility in an organization. So these are the advantages. Let's revise them once again. Advantages of internal audit: proper accounting system, better management, progress review, effective control, no errors, and fixing responsibility. Okay, last is difference between internal audit and operational audit. So there are more differences in the mat, but I have written only four, so I am discussing this four with you. First is objective. Internal audit is compliance with laws. Objective is compliance, that that the business is compliance with law. A business is doing its activities according to the laws or not. And operational audit is basically risk identification and process improvement. Focus of internal audit is on financial accounts and audit. Operational audit, business and efficiency and improvement focus. Internal audit is based on transaction. It is a transaction based process. Operational audit is a process. Okay, operational audit is a process. Internal audit work as a cost center wise budget monitoring. Okay, it helps in budget monitoring. And operational audit is accountability for performance and improvement results. So this is the basic difference between internal audit and operational audit. So with this, we complete our internal audit topic. If you like the video, then do subscribe my channel. It's a little long video of internal audit. And if I get good response on this video, I will surely make more videos on other topics of auditing. I will surely try to make on them. So thank you. Keep supporting.